Well, hey guys, I decided I'm gonna venture out into YouTube land a little bit and start making some videos. Um, and basically just kind of focus on fixing stuff, lawn mowers, and I don't know, I guess whatever really comes across the path. Um, but anyways, I don't know everything, and um, I take every little project kind of like an adventure to see, what's out there, and how to fix things, take things apart, and put them back together again, see what makes them work, and you know, sometimes I can figure it out, and sometimes I can't. But you know, um, I think it's good when you learn how to do new things, and I built this little shop here, and this is you know an enjoyable place for me to be. So thought I'd kind of take you along the journey and see what we can get into. But anyways, I've got a new little project to start working on. I've got a mower that needs a lot of work, and I don't really know much about it, but we'll get it in here and get to turning some wrenches and figure out what's wrong with it. Hopefully we can get it running again. This mower right here, I just kind of finished working on it and got her running again. There's some more stuff I need to get done, but it wasn't running when it came in, and it runs really good now. But anyways, I've got another one. It's a little bit newer, but Cub Cadet. And anyways, we'll take a look at it here in a minute on the trailer. I haven't even taken it off the trailer yet. I'll give you a little bit of history behind it here in just a few minutes. So hang tight, and we'll go take a look at that one. Alright guys, so here's this Cub Cadet I was talking about. Just picked it up last night. This one was a free one. Saw on a marketplace for Facebook. It was for free. Got this one along with another couple mowers, little push mowers. This one, there's one of the push mowers there, and I've got another one in the back of my pickup. But anyways, so this one, a little history behind it is basically she doesn't know if it runs, she doesn't know if there's anything wrong with it, and her kids left it at home, and she wanted to get rid of it. So only thing I've done is I checked the flywheel on it just to make sure that the engine wasn't seized, and it turned on me the other day. It's not turning now, but actually turned on me last night, and it got to compression, and then kind of got stuck. But it does turn, so we know the motor's not locked up on it. As you can see, it comes with a bagger setup, which is nice. It's got a couple flat tires, and looks like it's definitely been sitting out for a while. I don't know if there's any gas in the gas tank. Hopefully they ran the fuel out of it. Kind of hard to see in there. Looks like it's empty to me, so that'd be a good sign. Anyways, it's got an hour meter on it. I have no idea what the hours are on it, but it is, like I said, a newer model. It's a 2015, I believe. So I guess the first step is we're gonna see if we can get some air in those tires, and then maybe get it off the trailer and move some stuff around in the shop and get it out in the shop. So let me go ahead and stretch an air hose out here, and we'll see if we can get these tires to inflate. Alright, let's see if we can get some air in these tires. Yeah, doesn't look like it's gonna go. Looks like we're off the bead in the back. Yeah. And I don't know if you can see back here, but looks like that's separated. Got a hole, looks like it. So definitely looks like we're gonna have to get some new tires for that. So let me check to see if I've got any extra tires. Alright, looks like we're in luck. I do have a couple front tires. Now that back tire may be a little bit tougher, but we'll check that out when we get to it. All right, check that up a little bit, see if we can a little better working conditions. All right, let's see if we can get that cap off. Sometimes you got to get behind these things. Got some of these they're spark plug pullers from Harbor Freight. They come in a pack of 3, but these things come in real handy doing all kinds of stuff, but I thought maybe this little end right here we could get behind that a little bit better and pop that off. Oh, there we go. So came off, just a little plastic cap. And kind of looks like we've got we've got a little cotter pin in there, a couple washers, or a washer, kind of holding that on. So let's see. Let's pull that pin down there, and see if we can pull it out. Get that pin bent right, straight enough, it won't want to go through there. Starting to kind of run out of daylight. I'm gonna get this thing in the shop so you guys can kind of see what's going on. There we go. That is a tight cotter pin. Okay. All right. There we go. Got that off of there now. It's pretty easy from here on out to get these off. Just pull the ring. And then the tire should come right off. So in these, you got just a plastic bushing. There's it's not really a high dollar mower, so they don't really put any really good strong bushings in here or anything. So just a little plastic bushing insert that goes in there. Those wear out, you can get some more and put them in. If you get the metal ones, they're a little bit better, they last a lot longer. But anyways, we'll see if we can throw that other tire on here. Maybe be able to move this thing around a little bit easier. Okay, here's that other tire. And like I said, this one's got a metal bushing in it, but this is really just going to be for temporary. So we'll just do that in reverse. And before I put this cotter pin in, I'm going to straighten it out a little bit. Just to kind of help it hopefully go in that a little easier. Just like that. And then we'll just bend that down for now. Just enough to hold it, and we'll go ahead and leave this cap off for now. We'll put that on whenever we get the new tire on, if we get that far in this project. So, all right. Well, let's see if we can get any air to take on this back tire. I'm feeling around the back side, make sure that that bead isn't broke, and it doesn't feel like it is. So. Well, let's just give that a shot. All right. Now, whether it holds for very long, I don't know, but this will give us a little bit of air to move this thing around a little bit. Go ahead and put some good pressure in it. Just listen. I don't hear anything right off the bat. So all right. So that ought to get us at least to where we can roll it pretty easy. And we'll see if we can get it in the shop where we have a little better light. Now I'm starting to hear. I'm hearing some leaking. But that'll at least get us going for now. All right, we got it in the shop. I'm a little out of breath having to push it in here, but we got her in here. Got a little better light to kind of look things over and just kind of see what we're working with. So first thing is it did come with the complete bagging system. It's missing one of the pieces of the chute over here. It's right now in the back of my truck. It was pretty loose, but I think probably one of the first things we're going to do is we'll remove that bagging system just to kind of get it out of the way, give us a little bit more working room. But we'll get to that in a few minutes and kind of run over a few things and just see what kind of condition this thing's in. One of the first things I kind of noticed was, this seat is, it's kind of cracked a little bit, and that usually just comes from sitting out in the weather. So hood is also pretty dingy, and you can see it's probably been sitting outside for a little bit. So, but being that it's not too old, means it probably hadn't been sitting too long. Why it was sitting, I don't know. Anyways, here's the battery. A little fuse here. Does have a battery in it. More than likely, battery's probably toast. But I'll get you around here where you can see the dates, serial number and model and all that. So it says manufactured in 4 of 2015. Right there. So looks like we got an hour meter here. Your throttle, choke. Looks like you've got a parking brake, and I think even cruise control. Over here, pretty standard setup, your deck height, and it's going to be your PTO lever. Engage the blades. One good thing about this mower is, I like about these, is it does have hydraulic throttle, or whatever you call it. You don't have a gear selection, you just push for forward and push for reverse, so that's nice. Alright, as far as the engine, it looks like it's a Kohler. Kohler 18 horse, Kohler Courage. Good thing about these engines, are a little bit better than the kind of standard lawnmower engines. They've got an oil pressure system in it, so it's a full pressure oil system. It's got a oil filter here, and then you've got this one has a drain hose that's been connected, so you can easily drain your oil. You looked in there already. It's a little dirty, a little dingy, but other than that, that's kind of an overview. We'll pop this air cleaner off and just kind of see what we're dealing with. Haven't checked the oil yet or anything. See how clean this is or how dirty this is, and then we'll check the oil. Oh yeah. So here's oil, or the air filter. Definitely gonna need a new air filter. This one's feels like it's probably been wet a few times and deformed from being wet. It's dirty, but we got a little creepy crawly in there. That looks like a shedding of a scorpion. Yep. It's not actually the scorpion, it's just the shedding. I got my little daughter here and she's dying to say something. She's freaked out by this, aren't you, honey? You want to point at it? Can you point at it?
I don't want to touch it.
Alright. Yeah, it's just the skin. You can pick it up. It won't hurt you.
I keep.
Alright. Don't touch the stinger. Okay. Here's your oil filter. Or not your oil filter, but your air filter here. It looks like it's probably dry. So I think they ran all the fuel out of it, which is good. If not, then whatever fuel was left was kind of evaporated out, but usually they don't do that too much. So anyways, let's check the oil real fast and we'll see what that looks like. Set that right there. Well, it has oil on the dipstick, which is good, and it doesn't look too terrible. Let's just check that real quick. Yeah, not too bad. So that's a good sign. There's oil in it. So anyways, that's kind of an overview. Haven't really checked to see if anything else is going to work on it yet as far as fire up or anything like that. I'm guessing that battery's probably toast. So I think the first thing we'll do is let me get you set up here, and we'll just see if that battery does anything at all. If not, we'll go ahead and take that rear bagger system off and then throw a new battery in there, and we'll see if it wants to even try to start. So let me get you set up. Yeah, it doesn't have anything, no power at all. So go ahead and throw the battery in, and we'll see if it does anything after that. Alright, get this off here. I think what we'll do is we'll set this battery aside and just throw it on the charger, see if it takes a charge. I doubt it will. It's probably toast, but we'll give it a shot anyways. Sometimes they'll take a charge if they've been sitting out, but if they've been froze 2 or 3 times, they won't. Alright, we're going to connect these leads, and I'll bring you back whenever we're ready to start her up. Alright, we got those leads hooked up. It's not going to start. There's not any fuel in it or anything, but I just want to kind of listen to the way it's going to sound, if it has any sound at all. It just depends on wiring. I haven't really looked at any of the wiring or anything like that, but a little red light coming on, but nothing. I can hear a clicking. So guess we'll start exploring and see what's going on. First thing I'm going to do is just check that fuse real fast. See if that has anything to do with starter. Let me grab a set of needle nose pliers here. Oh, these will work. Let me set you down right here. Just okay. I'll just see, but the fuse looks fine, so that's okay. All right, so that battery may not be completely charged, but I do have another battery. Let me check with another battery, and then we'll go from there. Okay, before I change this battery, I want to just check to see if it's got voltage. We're going to 12 volts. So, I have a ohm meter here, and we're just going to check the voltage across this battery and see where we're at. So, basically, you just set it on ohms and run your leads black to negative and red to hot. And looks like we're all right. We're at over 12 volts. So it's not the battery. Let's go ahead and check around here to the starter. I went ahead and took off the bagging system, just kind of get that out of the way. But let's go over here and check the starter and see if I can get you set up here. So basically we just want to check to see if that starter's getting power. If it's not getting any power, then more than likely we've got a break in power somewhere between the ignition and the starter. So we'll just run that. Let's go ahead and turn the key on. And get that just set up there for you. There we go. So we're just going to run to ground. Let's find a ground. And doesn't show any power there, but I have the key on. So let's see if I can do this here. Okay, let me see if I can wedge this in somewhere and get a good ground to where let's see. Let me see if I can get you set up a little bit better to where I can actually sit on that seat, because I think it has an emergency kill switch if you're not sitting in the seat. Okay, so we tried to turn the key. Doesn't seem like it's getting power from the key to the starter, but there's kind of a way we can test that starter, making sure it's just not the starter. We can run some direct power to it. So I've got a little battery here that's it's set up. It's just a little lawnmower battery, and it's fully charged. So what we can do is we can run some jumper cables to that. What we'll need to do is find a good ground on in the motor block, and then all we need to do is just touch the lead where the power comes in to the starter. This is your starter right here, and here's your main power lead coming into it, and this right here is going to be your power lug where it connects. So if we touch that with hot, then if the starter's good, then it should start cranking. So we'll give that a shot. So looks like the starter's okay. So more than likely we have some kind of power issue from your power coming in the power coming in from your starter, from the ignition to the starter. So we'll start exploring that. Might need to pull the ignition switch off and just take a look at it, make sure everything is okay. There's not any chewed wires or anything like that. That clicking noise that I do hear, that clicking noise is it's going to be the shut off for the carburetor. It's just an emergency shut off, so that way no fuel is going to be flowing through that carburetor. So let's go ahead and pull that ignition off, and we'll go from there. Okay, so try to get you zoomed in here to where you can see what we're looking for. Alright, right back there is going to be the box. Let's see if I can get this to focus. There we go. Right back there is going to be the box that is going to be holding your ignition switch. And that just comes around here to right there. There's a couple little tabs, so we'll go ahead and pull that out and take a look at that ignition. Alright, I got a flashlight here. You can kind of look down in there. I don't know how much you can see, but down in the bottom there we go. I don't know if you can see that, but looks like we get a pretty good sized mouse nest. There we go. So there's good chance we got some chewed wires. These connections are pretty tight in there, so let me get this box pulled off the front and take a look further inside there. Okay, got this box pulled off. It's gonna be your ignition here. You got another connection for, I'm not really exactly sure, it's probably a relay. Well, actually it's going to be for this button right here. This is equipped with a safety to where it won't mow in reverse unless the key is turned on to this is going to be your start, and in order to mow in reverse you have to bring this key back to this reverse forward, and then you push this button here, and when you push that button it tells the mower that it can mow in reverse. So it's a safety feature, but that's going to be what that's going to be for right there. So now I can bring you in a little closer here, and you can definitely see, yeah, we got a pretty good sized mouse nest in there. We'll get some of that cleaned out and just check those wires. Alright, well, there's that mouse nest that I got pulled out of there. Went again, unplugged this lead here, and and that goes to this one right here. It goes to your hour meter. And what we'll do is we'll try to pull those wires just through the bottom here, that wiring harness, and just inspect those wires. There's a hole in there. I'm not sure if it's big enough for those wires to come through. See if I can get those out. Okay, got those wires out, and kind of what I thought here. With that mouse nest, we've definitely got some issues with these wires. So we'll go ahead and pull these the sheath off and expose these wires a little bit better and see if we can fix those wires. Once we get those wires fixed, we'll put everything back together and see if we can get some fire to that engine. Alright, well, I cleaned up these wires a little bit, and hopefully we get enough light in here. You see there, we've got two wires that are completely chewed through. And then that one looks alright. The yellow one looks okay. Brown one looks alright, and the green one looks okay. This red wire with the black stripe on it is a little worse for wear. So we'll see if we can go ahead and solder these back together, put some shrink tubing on it, and get this connection going again. So first thing I'm going to do is just see if we can pull that camera up just a little bit. Strip these wires back. We don't want to twist these up or anything because we want to blend these wires together if we can. We're not going to use a connector, or a mechanical connector, I guess you could say. We want to try to go in here and actually solder these together. It's just a better connection. Less likely to come loose. These mowers, they vibrate quite a bit, and these little mechanical connections sometimes come loose. So before we get to soldering, I've got a soldering iron that's heating up, but we want to put a tubing on here, shrink tubing. You can get these pretty much anywhere, any automotive store. I think these came from Ace, but I want to put those on before we solder it, because once you have it on, or the soldering on, and you forget to put one of these on, then you have to tape it. So we'll just throw that down like that, put another one on. You just cut whatever length you need with a pair of scissors. Okay, now when you use flux, you want to make sure you use the right kind of flux. You don't want to use flux that's going to be for soldering copper pipe together, water lines and stuff like that. You want to use a flux that is made for electrical use. This is going to be, it's going to have a flux core, or not flux, but I'm talking about solder. You don't want to use a solder that is going to be for plumbing. You want to use a solder that's for electronics. It's already going to have a flux built into it. So make sure you get the right solder. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to pull these wires back, give ourselves the best kind of connection we can. Try to get this to where it's on camera well. Okay, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on here. Now, once you get it together, I'm going to try to blend those wires together the best you can. And then we'll take our solder. You want to make sure that gets kind of heated up in there. We'll just touch that to that and let that kind of heat up a little bit. Okay, let me one. Let me grab a pair of pliers real fast. Our needle knows work. That here just a little bit and squeeze those together. All right, and we'll go on to the second one. Take our solder, heat that up a little bit. You don't need too much, just enough to make that connection between those two wires. Okay, so we got those connected, resoldered, and now we'll just put our shrink tubing over that connection, and this connection. Best we can. That's a little bit fat right there. Just squeezing this down a little bit, compressing it, get that tubing over it. Okay, so the shrink tubing, the way it works is you just put a little bit of heat to it and those tubes will shrink down. There's a couple different ways. Easiest way is just to go ahead and use your soldering iron, and it doesn't take much. You can use a flame as well. Problem with using a flame, when you have all these other wires and you don't have have this on a bench top that's being held and stuff, is you can end up doing a little more harm than good, melting some wires. So alright, so we've got these connections pretty well made now, and what we'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and run those wires back up. I'm going to try to clean that space out the best I can with some compressed air, and we will hook everything back up and see if we've got power. So let me get you set up for that where you can see a little bit better. Alright, this wire here for your green and red, that's for your Christmas lights. We'll plug that in. Actually, that's going to be for your meter. Your hour meter. Aha, there we go. Okay, that's back in. And now if I can get a little slack on this. Okay. going to take a little compressed air and just shoot on that connection. Kind of clean it up a little bit. We're also going to kind of clean this up a little bit too. Okay, other than that, everything looks pretty good. I don't see anything too glaringly obvious. We'll get this cooked back up and see what we can do as far as getting some power to that starter. I'll make sure that key is off. Okay. Alright, before we stick that back in, we'll just give it a test. Okay, let's give this a shot. Battery's hooked up. We've got the wire fixed, so let's see if that will turn that in. Alright. Good. So, looks like we've got power going to the starter, into the engine. I think the next thing we want to do is we just want to pull that spark plug, see if it has spark, and make sure that's okay. If it does, being that this had more than likely sat for a good couple of years or so, I think it'd probably be a good idea to go ahead and pull that hood off, get past that air cleaner, and take a look at that carburetor.